$47,000 a year. That's more than what half of Americans make. And yet, if you make that amount, there's very good chance you still feel broke. Not occasionally broke, not broke after a big expense. Constantly, quietly, exhaustingly broke. Like no matter what you do, no matter how many shifts you pick up, how many expenses you cut, how many times you tell yourself next month will be different, the feeling never goes away. Here's what nobody's telling you. That feeling. It's not because you're bad with money. It's not because you're lazy. It's not even because you don't make enough. It's because your brain is running a program that was never designed to make you feel financially secure. And today, we are going to show you exactly what that program is and why it's running in almost every American household right now, including yours. What you are about to understand is something most financial advice channels will never tell you, because most financial advice focuses on your bank account. We are going to focus on something far more powerful than that, your brain. Specifically, a psychological cycle that is silently running in the background of your financial life, draining your energy, distorting your decisions, and keeping you stuck in a loop that feels completely normal. Because for most Americans, it is normal. But normal doesn't mean inevitable. And by end of this video, you're going to see your financial life in a way you never have before. Let's start with some numbers that should make you uncomfortable. According to a survey by the American Psychological Association, money is the number one source of stress for Americans, not health, not relationships, money. A Federal Reserve report found that nearly 40% of Americans couldn't cover an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing money or selling something. $400. That's a car repair, a medical copay, a broken appliance. And almost half the country is one bad week away from a financial crisis. But here's the part that never makes the headlines. The people in the 40%. They are not all unemployed. They are not all uneducated. Many of them have jobs, some have good jobs. They are teachers, nurses, drivers, office workers, construction workers. People doing everything society told them to do. And they are still quietly one emergency away from the edge. So the question isn't why poor people struggle with money. The real question, the one nobody is asking, is why do working Americans with steady income still feel financially terrified? The answer lives inside a psychological concept called the Hedonic Treadmill. And once you understand it, everything changes. Meet Sarah. Sarah is 34. She lives in Columbus, Ohio. She's a registered nurse, a career she worked years to build. She makes $62,000 a year. By almost every measure, Sarah is doing okay. But Sarah hasn't taken a vacation in 3 years. She has $400 in her savings account. She lies awake at night doing math in her head, calculating whether she can afford a new tire that her car desperately needs. And every time she gets a small raise at work, within 3 months she feels exactly as financially stressed as she did before the raise. Like the raise never happened. Sarah isn't irresponsible. She doesn't gamble. She doesn't overspend on luxury items. She's just stuck, running as fast as she can and somehow never moving forward. What Sarah doesn't know, what nobody ever told her, is that she's not experiencing a money problem. She's experiencing a psychology problem, one that has a name, one that affects millions of Americans just like her, and one that the financial industry has absolutely no incentive to fix. The hedonic treadmill. It sounds complicated. It isn't. Here's what it means in plain English. Human beings are psychologically hardwired to return to a baseline level of happiness, no matter what happens to them. Win the lottery. Within 2 years, research shows your happiness returns to roughly where it was before. Get a promotion. Within months, the excitement fades and your new salary becomes your new normal. Buy something you've wanted for years. The joy is real, but temporary. Then it disappears, and you want the next thing. This isn't a character flaw. This is biology. The brain evolved to adapt to new circumstances, good or bad. As a survival mechanism, in prehistoric times this was incredibly useful. It kept our ancestors from becoming so satisfied they stopped working to survive. But in 2024, in a consumer economy specifically designed to exploit this biological loop, it's financially catastrophic. Because here's what actually happens when Sarah gets that raise. Her brain registers the new income level, adapts to it within weeks, resets her sense of normal, and now 62,000 feels exactly like 58,000 used to feel. Insufficient, stressful, not enough. The treadmill keeps moving and she keeps running. and she never ever arrives anywhere. This is why financial advice that focuses purely on earning more almost never works long term. You can't outrun a treadmill by running faster. You have to understand the treadmill first. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. The hedonic treadmill isn't a secret. Psychologists have known about it for decades. Marketers have known about it even longer. In fact, the entire architecture of modern consumer culture is built on one foundational assumption: that we will always want more, that satisfaction is temporary, that the feeling of enough will never last. This isn't cynicism, this is documented marketing strategy. The concept of planned obsolescence, deliberately designing products to become outdated, was formalized in the 1950s specifically to keep the consumption cycle moving. Smartphone upgrades, fashion seasons, car model years, subscription renewals. Every system you interact with financially is engineered around the predictable psychology of hedonic adaptation. They don't need you to be responsible, they just need you to be human. And being human, it turns out, is extraordinarily profitable for everyone except you. Where does that leave Sarah? Where does that leave you? Here's the truth I want you to sit with. The reason you feel broke, even when the math says you shouldn't, is not a personal failure. It is a predictable psychological response to a system that was never designed with your financial peace in mind. That's not an excuse to stop trying. It's a reason to stop blaming yourself for something that was never entirely your fault. Understanding the treadmill is the first step to stepping off it. And that is exactly where we are going next. This channel exists for one reason: to show you what's actually happening inside your mind and inside the systems around you, so that you can finally start making sense of why money feels the way it feels and what you can actually do about it. Now you understand the treadmill. But here's what I didn't tell you yet. The treadmill isn't the only cycle running in the background of your financial life. There's a second one, and it's darker. It's the reason that when Americans finally start earning more, genuinely more, they often end up in more debt than they were before the raise. Not less, more. It has a name too, and we are covering it in the next episode. If the hedonic treadmill is the floor, what we are talking about next is the ceiling that keeps crashing down on you. Don't miss it.